Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. And tonight I want to have a discussion on, like, if you're afraid in Pokemon. Like, let's say you're really afraid of the crash, and, maybe a lot of your boxes got gains, and you're just afraid. And then maybe some of these things will crash, and things will go bad. And I'm not really worried about this, but because I'm not really afraid to mess with like more high end and expensive items. But if you are worried, um, I want to just talk about some things you can do to protect yourself. And a lot of people do these. Um, I'm kind of like mixed matched about doing this strategy. I usually try to trade upwards. And when I say trade upwards, I don't mean by like just like, oh, I try to trade like so I'm profiting every time. Like I try to trade like a bunch of small items into a big item, but you can also do this the opposite way of trading a bunch of like a big item into a small item, like Unbroken Bonds, for example. Like let's say you bought Unbroken Bonds, it's now like 3K, and you maybe just want something safer, um, like to maybe get out of it. And I'm here to tell you what you can do and what are some options of like certain things that are just safe to trade into. I mean, cash is always safe. But like, I want to talk about things with just such low entry prices that it's kind of like, yeah, you're probably not going to do bad. And like starting off one is like the 151 booster bundles. Like if you're getting them for like $80, $90, they're pretty much a safe bet to just not drop. Like I said, I'm not recommending to do this, but I'm just saying if you're like here to hunker down, like there's a sandstorm in Pokemon, and you're like the Kabutop's trying to protect itself, to hunker down and be like, oh, I don't want to have a $3,000 product. Maybe people have Evolving Skies booster box and they're like, well, I do want to like hunker down and get something smaller. Okay, that's fine. But it's just going with stuff that like makes sense. That it's like even if there's a crash, it's like, will it really drop any lower than it is now? And this is like another perfect product of like turn your Evolving Skies box into like what 25 of these at 100 a piece, and you're protecting yourself kind of because you're like in prismatic at $6.50 to $7 a pack, and it's just like, well, when the market recovers on this and these hit like $15 a pack again, I'll be dumping them for like $10 a pack, doubling my money and keeping that cycle going. So like that's like these are all items that you can use to protect yourself, like poster collections. Like these always sell like hotcakes, and it's like if you're valuing like $30, $35, a crash probably is not going to affect a bunch of these. But I will argue that your liquidity might be a little tougher with smaller products, but they still do move. But another one, or like to enter in products that you like believe in, like Evolving Skies, and this is why I've been picking up a lot of these lately, guys. Is I wish I bought more of these first off. Because they're just such a safe item. They sell so fucking easy. And I want to do a comparison right now on the market on these. Like, I just picked up 3 of these recently um, in my insane buying sprees. And it pisses me off that I had to pay what I did for these. But when you hear this comparison, it's going to kind of blow your mind. And you're going to probably consider, like, oh, wow, that's cheap. Um, so Evolving Skies ETBs. Like I said, I picked up these for like $2.90 each. Sometimes you may find them for like $3.50. It's just probably the best you're gonna find one for. But still, I want to make a comparison with these. It's Evolving Skies, man. It's literally like the best set of the past like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It's like the best set period that's came out in a long ass time. And oddly enough, 151 regular ETBs are outperforming it. Like they're at $400 for a regular ETB, and these are like at like $350, $400. But I mean, they're roughly about the same price. But it's like you're getting in a way older set and a way more legendary set, in my opinion. That Evolving Skies, it's showing that the ETBs are doing a massive leg up. Um, to probably $600, $700, $800, and I still just think now is not a terrible time that if you don't have any Evolving Skies ETBs in your collection, to probably load up on them, because I think the next big spike's coming. We already had a bunch of people that bum rushed these at $350. Like, they just started buying them up like crazy. And I don't think many are going to sit on the market for under $400. I really think we're going to see these probably be like a $700, ETB. And they're kind of like crash proofed as well, because I just don't ever see this dropping below $50 a pack. So that's just where things are with that. But it's just crazy. And I mean, even with Prismatic, like, check this out. I mean, the Pokemon Center ETB is $400, and it's like Evolving Skies ETB is the OG, $400. Same price, really. And that's why I was thinking, if you're finding Evolving Skies at like $300, man, like even $350, the ETB is a great pickup. And I don't think the things are, like, we're done with the run of Evolving Skies. We know it's not getting reprinted, and we just know it's kind of not an issue. So that's why I've been rounding up more ETBs, because I've realized that, like, yeah, I have 20 of them, which is nice, but it's like, to get where I need to get to, I need more. I wish I'd have bought like 50 or 60 of these, but I can't go back now, so now I'm just kind of grabbing what I can find at decent prices. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, after this purchase, I'm kind of taking a little bit of a break, only grabbing deals that I just like can't refuse, and leaving everything just kind of sit where it's at and get older, and taking that approach. But it's like, a lot of these items, like smaller items, yeah, they're pretty much like recession proof, because people are still going to want to rip them. And it's like, if you think a lot of these bigger booster boxes are going to crash, hovering into some of them is not a terrible idea. So, I mean, like I said, I don't super recommend it, but it's still not a bad idea. Other liquid stuff is like Twilight Masquerade booster boxes, like, they're pretty liquid. I mean, anything 151, anything Crown Zenith, anything Lost Origin for the most part. Like, even Champion's Path ETBs, one of my personal favorites. Like even they're pretty liquid. I doubt they're gonna crash, since they're getting older and harder to find. So that's just stuff I would personally be doing. But I don't really fear stuff being expensive. That there's not going to be like an exit liquidity, because there definitely is. It's just the longer you hold on to it, the more it's going to be expensive. So anyway, I want to take a tour though and just show how cool this is. Like, the tag team era of Pokemon. Like, check this out. Isn't it cool that it's like Mewtwo, Mew, Charizard, and then it's like, then you got Zekrom, Pikachu, and then you got those two. Like, man, it's just, the tag team era is so cool compared to, like, I mean, Fusion's still cool as hell too, but like Fusion, where it's just like one box, but like one Pokemon in the box. But the tag team era is just extremely magical. But even with Fusion Strike, man, like, I can't say this enough on this channel. This is one of the more riskier boxes that I would say, like, only buy this if you're really wanting to OG hold for the next, like, 2 or 3 years to get massive gains. But like, even this box right now at $800, $900, $1,000, I still think is an incredible pickup, man. Because, like, when you look at Evolutions, it's what, a $2,000 box? Let's say $1,600 box. I'm not even sure how much Evolutions is. This set is personally, hands down, more memorable and better than Evolutions. And it's just a better box altogether, in my opinion. And it's like, when this hits Evolution's age, it's probably going to be tremendously more expensive. And that's why I personally have been loading up on it a lot more. Fusion Strike, that's why I doubled down on my position and bought another case. And and another thing I want to talk about on this channel, and that I want to go back to, is Chilling Reign cases. Right now in the market, guys, like, I'm going to be real with you, a sealed case is $4,000 now. And I mean, I was telling you guys to buy them at 3, and I know some of you didn't, and it sucks to pay $4,000 right now. But I could see Chilling Reign jump to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, man. The Blaziken's memorable. The whole set is stacked with good old arts. And 4,000 a case, man, honestly is not that bad. If I didn't just buy one for 3,000, I would probably buy like 3 or 4 more of them. And I still might buy another Chilling Reign case at these prices. Just because it's like the set is getting harder and harder to find. The booster box case, I still like 4,000. Feel like 4,000 is completely undervalued, but it's just another one of those sets that it's like, I think over time you will see it be at least $1,000 box, man. Like no doubt in my mind. Chilling, Fusion, Lost Origin are like 3 of the greats. But like I said, it's not the safest route because compared to like buying Prismatic right now, like it's more expensive, more risky. But in my opinion, you're looking at like bigger returns. It being more liquid to just sell compared to selling like these Prismatic boxes at 200. Like let's say these do run to 200. These are going to be a lot harder to resell than selling like this when it runs to 1,000. So it's like pick your poison. But it's like even with Fusion Strike booster box, I could have bought that for 800, or I could have bought 8 Prismatic boxes, which would be way more packs. But going for the sealed booster box or the sealed Pokemon Center ETBs are kind of the better investment in my opinion because they're always more liquid. So that's just where things are, man. But I still think for Chilling, I don't think it's a bad buy at all at 4,000 for a case. So yeah, when I hear people say they can't find Pokemon, it's like you're actually being really fucking cheap and stingy, and you're just hoping that you get something that you can just double your money on, and like a hyena. And those plays just don't exist anymore, man. They never really did in the entire era of Pokemon of like, I'm going to wait for everything to drop and then I'm going to swipe in and I'm going to buy everything. And then everyone's just going to want it again and I want to make a ton of money, man. And it's just like, that's probably not going to happen. I hate to burst everyone's bubble. It's probably not, if it drops like down really bad, it's probably going down for good. Or if it goes up, it's just going to keep going up like it has been. And I think we'll do the latter of those two things. I just don't think you're going to get an incredible cheaper price than things are now. It doesn't make any sense. No one's going to hit me up with Fusion Strike boxes for $400, so I could turn around and sell them tomorrow for 1,000. You know, like even finding one for 800 is pretty tough. So that's just the point of this video, man. You kind of got to be like reasonable in this hobby price wise of like buying stuff and understanding like, yeah, I'm probably not going to get filthy rich in a couple days, but in the next year or two, I'll probably do all right, you know? So that's just how things are, man. Like, there are still good opportunities, but it's just like, you're not going to capitalize on some like massive market crash and everyone is just going to sell off their boxes so you can swoop in and buy them for pennies on the dollar and then resell them back on the market because everyone's just going to want them again. We're already at the point where it's like, no, everybody wants this stuff that it's kind of like do or die right now, where you either just buy a bunch of stuff and have some balls and take some risks, or you're just not going to make any money and sit on the sidelines. Like, that's just kind of how it works, man. It's always been like that, but like, there's no such thing as not being able to find Pokemon if you got money. I think anyone will sell you Pokemon if you have money to buy it, including myself. Like I said, if most of you were around, it's like, I would sell some of my stuff, but like I said, I don't like live close to everybody, so yeah, I can't just like meet everyone. But it's like, man, you just have to look. It's really truly not that hard, and like truly. But the thing that I don't understand is like people that are so afraid of crashes and all this and shit. And it's just like, dude, if you're buying prismatic for $6 a pack and it crashes down to like back down to $5 or whatever, does it even matter? Like, is that even a risk? Is that even like a real risk? Like, I want to explain the risk that I take compared to what people like freak out about risk. Is they're like, oh my god, if I buy these for 90, oh, when they go back down to like $60, oh, I'd be so screwed. What a massive risk that is. Like, and it's like, dude, these were 15 a pack, man. You're getting them for 6. How much better do you want it to be for you so you're not taking a risk? Like even these, man. I look at these, and I wish I bought more of these because it was just such a stupid, cheap investment that has just done tremendously well. It's like 151 bundles. Like, I bought a bunch of these for $60 or $50 or something. Just they were dumped on me. I really didn't even want them, and it's like now like $100 each, and I have like 6 of them just kind of laying around. And it's just like I wish I bought like 1,000 of these because they were just like such a dumb, cheap investment that was just so low risk that it's like okay, like I just doubled my money. Like what was the worst thing they were going to do? Drop down to 30, you know? But talking about some of the risks I take, it's like, dude, like buying Fusion Strike at $800. What if it drops down to like $300 again or something crazy? Or buying Team Up for 8,000. What if it drops to 2,000? Like I'm taking like real risks here to get real money. But the thing is you get way better gains by taking bigger risks, and that's why I take bigger risks by buying cases, buying vintage boxes, and just doing stuff like that. But it's like if you're afraid to lose a couple dollars on a pack, you're probably not going to make too much money in this hobby, man, because you got to spend money to make money, and that's just how it is. And buy stuff when you feel it's a pretty reasonable price. And for Team Up, I felt like it was just such a reasonable price at 8,000 that I really don't think you're going to find this box for under 15 grand very soon. I think one day we'll see $30,000 to $40,000 Team Up boxes, and I don't think that's a far stretch of the imagination. Just because it's so incredibly difficult to get. No one ever has it in their collections, and like I look at everyone's collections across the internet, and that's why I don't think people will ever die because like look how many freaking collectors there are now. But it's like, I look across the internet, and it's just like no one has this box in their collection at all. And so to me, that was a sign to buy because I'm like, okay, I know everyone's cheap as fuck in this hobby. They don't want to take any risks. Yeah, could I have bought this box for $2,000 back in the day? Sure. Yeah, I could have, and I wish I did. But like, it's like no one's taking the risk, and the prices are continuing to rise on this box. So I know if I buy in, I'll be one of the only real people in the next 3 or 4 years that actually own one that's legit and actually has it. So that's why I was willing to take the risk on this and do it, and it's already paying off. It's already going up tremendously. And the same with Cosmic Eclipse, Fusion Strike. And it's just like you have to take risks, and you can't really be afraid. But anyway, the next thing I want to talk about was Sam's Shiny Cardboard. I've checked out his channel a good bit, and it's pretty good. And like his channel, he's like a 20-year-old that really has his shit together. I gotta give him credit. He has close to $100,000 collection, and it's a lot of newer stuff, but it's like for 20 years old, the guy's doing really good. And people are like, "Oh, how's he doing?" And it's like, once again, and he tells everyone he works. He's busted his ass since he was 14, and that's what I encourage Pokemon investing, man. It teaches men character and women character of like investing in something you believe in rather than just not doing anything, not acting at all, not buying anything, just being pissy and whiny all day. Instead of taking a little bit of risk, so what if you lose some money? Um, you'll probably win in the long term. So that's just how it is, man. Once again, shout out to Sam's Shiny Stocks. Check his channel out. Pretty good guy to listen to. I throw him up there in kind of not like quite as good as my channel, but pretty close up there. He definitely isn't bad. Some of his takes are out there, but some of his takes are all right. So yeah, just a guy to check out. But it's like, yeah, people are just gonna miss the boat on all this stuff, man. And like I said, if you think there's a crash coming, prepare yourself for a crash. Just get into very low risk shit. If you don't think there's a crash, like in my opinion, get into your higher end stuff that you think is going to double, triple, and quadruple. And, that's just the best advice. Like, the whole Fusion Strike cases, I don't think it's a bad idea because I really think you'll see that be a 12 to 18 $1,000 case, man, because the set's just that good. Evolution's, like I said, a shitty set is 16 grand. Fusion Strike for 8 grand does not sound that bad in my opinion. I'm just saying. It can get a lot worse. So, anyway, that's all we have for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're out.